Okay, we're ready. Welcome to the big reveal for room review this week. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about how room review is going to work going forward. This first room review from last week, I did my own space. So I had it in my home. I went and I videoed it, commented. And now between last week and this week, I've made some changes and implemented the things that I talked about last week. So today I'm going to show you those changes. How we're going to work with room review going forward, though, is I am going to review your spaces. So if you want to be considered for a room review, please join my group, High Vibe Home, because I will have a sign-up questionnaire in there, and I will be selecting people from there to do in subsequent room reviews. So going forward, I will do a room review, but I will not have the reveal unless the person whose room I review sends me an update to what they've done. And I hopefully will be able to do that in subsequent room reviews. But again, it will be up to the people whose spaces I am reviewing going forward. So this is kind of a flagship room review. So to go ahead and get started, I am going to show you a little bit of what we talked about. It's like a minute long, runs through what we looked at last week, and then we will go into the changes that I made. So if you can hang on just 1 second here, I am going to move it over to the screen, and then I'm going to find, hopefully, the screen I want. Yes, okay. So here we are. Welcome to the room review, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Here is my room from last week. Remember we had that, 2 mirrors in the room, a drum set, kind of dingy curtains. I decorated this room when we first moved in, 16 years ago, I guess now. So a lot of the decor was heavy and very, just a lot of the early 2000s, a lot of upholstery, very heavy upholstery fabric. And it also, this room became a catch-all for things, and lots of stuff just kind of ended up here. And as I mentioned before, a lot of stuff around the base, very heavy. Nothing really on the walls, nothing to draw your eye up. And again, a lot of very heavy fabrics and not a lot of flow in the room. So that's what the room looked like. Now we are about to see what I've done in the last week. Drum roll, please. Now, there are some things I still would like to do to this room, but we will look at the changes that I was able to make in 1 week. I did not actually reupholster anything. I just kind of put the fabrics on that I'm going to use. So starting out with the mantelpiece here, I did take the mirror, as someone suggested. I took the mirror that was on the dresser over there and moved it over here and hung it higher. I have some, I put a piece of driftwood and an old shell from the beach in Sanibel on the mantle. And as you can see, the windows reflecting actually the sailboat and the outdoors. And then there's the plant that I brought that I'm going to have in a place that I can bring down when people come to stay. And then I have fake candles down there. There's a little remote that you can use to turn those on. This was the wing chair in kind of a gray, tweedy, office-looking fabric. I would cover this in a linen fabric. I've replaced the window coverings here with a really pretty panel that I got from Anthropologie, and I've had this for a long time. I actually have these in my bedroom also. I just love it. It casts such a soft light, and it's got a pretty embroidery on it. Moving the mirror away from over this dresser, I put a collection of 3 pictures over the chair and then a bigger picture over the dresser. And then I also have some books. It's kind of like a little bookshelf with some reading material that a guest might want to read. And then 3 glass pieces. As you see, sorry, it gets a little dark here. One of the rules for design or guidelines for design is to do things in an odd number. So I have 3 pictures, 3 glass pieces, all of different heights. But keeping it simple. So don't add stuff just to add stuff. If anything, take something away. But putting things in an odd number, 3 or 5. I like to work with 3 a lot. Then we have this picture over the chair, which I also covered in a linen. This is a floral linen with kind of browns and light aqua shades in it. And then another pillow with a little texture and then linen edges on it on the chair there. Then over here, I cleared out everything in front of the window and moved that trunk that had been in front of the bed in front of the window. It fits nicely there, and it allows people to be able to walk around on either side of the bed. And now we have lamps on both sides of the bed, and then matching pen and ink drawings on either side of the bed. Now, there are a couple of options that you can do. I think I show it a little bit later. Behind the bed, you could put something over the bed there, an architectural piece or just something. I kind of actually like it plain. I might even consider painting just that wall a color, like maybe that there's a color watery from Sherwin-Williams that I really like that could be a pretty accent color to paint that wall. Or you could do like a macrame hanging. Those things are really big right now. So that is how I transform the room. We're going to look at a few pictures, I believe. Now, here's an option. You can put a rug on the floor there. I didn't have one, but you could put a flocky rug there like I have, or, a round rug, something to kind of keep the energy flowing in the room. That is one option to add a little more interest. Then the other thing that you could do is I plan to also maybe put a light over here by this wing chair, possibly something that stands on the ground that, would kind of come over the side. Oh, here I put just a little basket with some dried flowers in between the wall there. And then here's kind of a mock-up of that watery color. It doesn't look as good as it would in real life, but that's on the Sherwin-Williams site. So here we're kind of looking back and forth at what was where. That was that space. Now it's like that. It's much more peaceful, much more inviting if people are coming to stay. There's the bed with a lot of darker, heavy fabrics. And there it just feels lighter and breezier now. A much more pleasant room to be in. And you can play around with how you do your pillows on your bed. I'm always changing them up. So that is the reveal. And as I mentioned, let me get myself back here. As I mentioned, I think that puts me back. I will be doing another room review next week. It will be a new space that someone has sent me that I will review in video format and provide my suggestions for how to change it. I'm also going to have some possibly some product recommendations in that review as well. So where to shop or what types of things to get to change up your space. But as you're looking at your space, think about what you can do to simplify and keep things that mean a lot to you in the space, and look around and see what you have there that maybe you don't really need, that is taking up your energy or detracting from the room. Less is always more. Obviously, as long as you have the basics, like in a bedroom, you need a bed, probably. You want the things that make being in the room enjoyable and easier, like nightstands on either side of the bed, a chair to sit. I could also stand to put a luggage a holder in that room so that people can put their luggage on that. And I also wouldn't mind one day changing out the heavy suit of furniture that's in there, because it is heavy and big and not necessary for a guest room. A lighter, maybe natural colored wicker type thing might work well in there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear from you if you have any questions or suggestions. I think anybody who has an opinion, I would love to hear what you suggest and what you liked, what you didn't like about what I did with the room. A lot of it is, personal preference, but I love to hear other people's opinions. So thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next week.